Now that we've got all of the Team of the Season cards that we're going to get, seemingly, in NHL 23, let's go over the best sets that you can utilize for the remainder of the game. Now, we are taking cost out of the equation in this video, as well as the fantasy cards, because there's simply just very, very few people that have those cards to actually trade in, and then obviously all of the cards that you can't make. So this is simply going to be what are the best cards that you can still make easily in this game. If you guys enjoy the video, let me know in the comments section down below. Let's get into it. Okay, now I want to preface this by saying there are a lot that are on the fringe. For example, Jack Hughes, he's got his MSP from the Clutch Moments event, and his shot is always fantastic. And the fact that he has gold unstoppable force, that really helps out the fact that he's 5'11", 175. But if you were still playing this game and you were trying to really look at the best ways to spend your resources, at the end of the day, you have to essentially think, all right, this card is going to be a 99. At the end of the day, a 99 overall, how does this card stack up to the other cards that are going to be available to us in future events? Now, me personally, I don't think that you should really pay attention to whatever the best card is. I think at this stage of the game, you should really try and make your favorite players, but you really can't do that in this game. It is just a really broken format, and that's for a whole other video and topic. Some other honorable mentions that didn't crack the top 10, in my opinion, would be like someone like Mitch Marner. Again, a smaller player that really gets knocked off the puck easily, but does have unstoppable force. So if you had his X Factor or his MSP from earlier in the year, I wouldn't blame you at all. And again, if you're a Leafs fan, please make Mitch Marner. But again, I'm just trying to give you guys my thought process here. So last thing I want to say, if a card did not make my top 10, it does not mean it is a bad card. I just think that these 10 have a little bit more value. If you are simply looking for the best value, always make your favorite cards. That is it. All right, let's get into it. All right, coming in at number 10 is David Pastrnak. Now, you can build up his X Factor or use his Spotlight MSP. The reason why he cracks the list is he's 6'1", 195, which is pretty decent size. He also has silver unstoppable force and gold close quarters. This could be your number one right-handed winger for the remainder of the game. If it wasn't for his extremely low agility, but again, as you go up in overall, essentially when he gets his next upgrade at 97, and you gotta think that he's gonna have a big playoff, his agility is gonna go from like 93 to like 97 almost immediately, and that's gonna really nullify his one weakness in this game. For whatever reason, EA decided to give him like a 75 agility rating, which needs to be rectified next year. But nonetheless, he would be my 10th best option in terms of value for trading cards in. Next up, coming in at number 9 is the 95 Cale Makar. Cale Makar has been one of the most fun cards to use this year, but as we know, as you get later on in the year, the smaller players have a really hard time defensively bumping people off the puck, and Cale Makar is no exception to that. However, he's one of the most fun players in the game, and they gave him Silver Truculence finally. The reason why I think he's worth it is because if you've got his X Factor still, he's a very exciting player, one of the most popular. His X Factor is far worse than his Team of the Season, all because of that Silver Truculence ability. It does not allow him to knock Jaromir Jagr and some of the bigger players off the puck, but it does help him knock people off the puck that don't have unstoppable force and that are a little bit, not 6'6". So definitely think it is worth it if you still have his X Factor, and would be worth upgrading his X Factor to do the trade-in. Coming in at number 8 is the 94 Owen Power. Again, at 99, he is going to be a 6'6" behemoth, and you really can't improve on size. He doesn't have truculence or stick him up, which would be two of the better defensive abilities to go with someone who's 6'6", but he does have silver shutdown, which is kind of a mixture of all of them. It's just not always constantly going to activate when you're in your own zone. It does say that it activates off the rush, and the game quantifies the rush very oddly sometimes, so you can still use it in your own zone, but it's not going to be 100%. All of his other abilities, though, really don't have much value to him. However, at the end of the day, he will be 99, and 6'6", 218 with silver shutdown is a phenomenal upgrade. I just wish he would actually wasn't, John Cena, essentially. Coming in at number 7, the 96 Roman Josi. Finally, we got a fantastic Roman Josi card. If you do his X Factor is a lot like Austin Matthews in the terms that it just doesn't really have any value with, the actual abilities that are on the card. However, they finally gave him truculence, which is huge. They also gave him gold stick 'em up, and I'm not a huge fan of sticking him up on players that are under, like 6'3", and simply just because of their reach. I think stick 'em up is kind of hit or miss this year because poke-checking half the time just goes right back to your opponent. However, it is effective on the, the bigger players because it's just their area of reach is just so much. For that reason, he's number 7. Up at number 6 is the 96 Austin Matthews. Now, his X factor is one of the worst in the sense that it just really doesn't have any abilities that are impactful in the game. However, his shot is just automatic. There's something different about it. In my opinion, every time I've used an Austin Matthews card, it has been phenomenal in that aspect. So if you bring his X factor up, the only real thing you're gaining is 3 additional synergies, as well as close quarters. That is a very, very good ability, one of the best in the game. However, he is going to get a 99, and when he does, a 6'3", 208 centerman with close quarters is going to be one of the better ones that you can acquire outside of whatever the MSPs and crazy things that get released, and it's Austin Matthews, so he comes in at number 6. At number 5, we've got the 97 Nathan MacKinnon. I did his X Factor, got him all the way up, and then did the trade-in for him on my no money spent team. Essentially, all you're gaining is unstoppable force. You can throw truculence on him as well. Wheels, I don't think is super necessary, but I know a lot of people do enjoy it. It's just a very, very high cost, and if you have a decent team, it's hard to justify spending essentially 1/6 of your ability points on wheels, but nonetheless, just having unstoppable force on him, it makes him a fantastic card. So if you get his X Factor, I would bring it up and then do the trade-in for the Team of the Season version. He is essentially maxed at everything. Number 4 is Leon Draisaitl, and again, finally, we get a great Leon Draisaitl card, gold unstoppable force, and quick draw if you really want it. And again, at 99, he's going to get upgrades pretty quickly, in my opinion. 6'2", 208, and at 99, essentially is basically the same build almost as Austin Matthews, but he does have gold unstoppable force, and if you want to run him as your first center, having silver quick draw will help you out just a little bit more. I think this is a great card and definitely worth upgrading his X Factor to get this Team of the Season version. His teammate checks in at number 3. If you get his X Factor, doing the trade-in for Connor McDavid to, get a maxed out 99 overall card, in my opinion, is a very good route to go. He's got unstoppable force, close quarters, all you need, and again, if you want wheels on him, he's faster than his 99 speed indicates. He also has a custom stride, one of only 5 players, I believe, currently in the game that have it. So there's something to that, I think, but definitely worth doing the upgrade if you get his X Factor. Number 2, the 95 Alex Ovechkin. So currently with the skating as it is, 92 acceleration, 93 speed, that is going to jump up very quickly because when they do the jump up to 96, let's say, all of the stats that have 99, it means that they can't go any higher. So to raise the overall, some stats are going to get a +2 bump, so you're going to see that very shortly. And once his speed gets into the higher 90s, gold unstoppable force, silver close quarters, even truculence, this is the right-handed version of Jaromir Jagr. And if you've been watching my channel or my streams, Jaromir Jagr's card, in my opinion, is the best card in the game still. You can't knock him off the puck. His shot is automatic, and when he gets that speed increase, you're laughing. So if you get his X Factor, 100% do this trade, and I think it's one of the best values in the game. And then lastly, the 95 Community Team of the Season, Hampus Lindholm, 6'4", 215, and he's got gold truculence, silver stick 'em up. This is one of the best cards for the remainder of the game. There is very few defensemen that they can come out with that would be better than this Hampus Lindholm because, again, he is going to go to 99, and you're laughing with gold truculence and silver stick 'em up. This is a phenomenal card, and 100%, in my opinion, the best value to go do. Go and make his MSP and do the trade-in for his Team of the Season, and you've got a left-handed defenseman for the remainder of the year. Now, again, there are some that I left off this list, and I do want to address them. One is Dylan Larkin. His X Factor has been fantastic and really popular throughout throughout the entire game. The only reason why I didn't include him is because all he's really gaining is close quarters and quick draw, and while those are both fantastic, and obviously the free upgrade, you don't need to upgrade him anymore, the reason why I didn't crack the list is because all the other ones gain something significant. I think that, some of the other cards don't when it comes comes to their abilities at 99. Like I mentioned before this started, all of these cards are going to be fantastic, but simply just from the value, Dylan Larkin's card has been fantastic. Like, it has been a great card, so I don't blame you at all. It was right on the end there, right on that list, and that was the reason why I didn't include him. Other ones like Matt Boldy, also very, very close there. If he had Silver Unstoppable Force, I think he probably would have cracked the top 10. He's basically the left-handed version of David Pastrnak, gold close quarters. One of the more popular cards. Again, I wouldn't blame you. 6'2", 200, just doesn't really have any impactful abilities. I'm not huge on gold close quarters. It's an animation ability, meaning that it doesn't impact attributes as much as it does give you an animation. So just silver version of it still gives you those animations, which is why I think that silver is a little bit better just for the cost specifically. Now guys, obviously some are going to be more expensive than others. I understand that. I wanted to take cost out of this ranking simply just to make it, easier for everyone. If you want to save up, you've got the entire summer essentially, but those would be my top 10 in my opinion. Again, this is not gospel. If you have a favorite card or player that you're interested in, please go ahead and make it. If you guys enjoyed the video, give it a like. I'll see you next time. Have a good one.